Everybody, how's it going? Marcos Villegas, Fight Up TV, being joined with the new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Mr. Abdullah Mason, who had one hell of a fight against Sam Noakes last weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on this Ring 4 card. First off, Abdullah, congrats. I know this was something you dreamt of for a very, very long time. How's it feel to finally be a champ?
Man, it feels like a step forward for sure. I'm grateful for it, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes next as well. So, we're just taking it in.
How's it been? It's only been a few days, but like, how are you soaking everything in?
It feels pretty real, since I turned pro, and I've seen it happening. With focus and definitely the hard work. I feel like it was definitely an accomplishable goal, and me being a world champion is a door opener to a lot more. Bigger steps or, a lot more success, inshallah. So, we just staying focused to it all. Right now, it's going to be a little different, I feel like.
How so?
That's just a feeling, being a world champion. And not just that, but right now I'm the youngest world champion in boxing. So it feels like a step forward, not only that it is, but I feel like it's going to be mentally something that pushes me even further.
Yeah. Has it all sunk in yet for you?
Yeah, I would say it has.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it as good as you thought it would be, as you dreamt about?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was as reality. It was something that I feel like it was accomplishable. I didn't feel like it was an impossible thing. I feel like I had what it takes, and definitely grateful to be able to have the team. And I feel like the team was able to do something that was able to push me towards this, and to have them here with me, and just along this journey of growth, it's definitely, it feels real.
Yeah, we did a post-fight clip with you. We had Michelle, one of our correspondents over there, and she spoke to you for a little bit. But you were a bit emotional. Obviously, your dream just came true. But just kind of take me back to that moment. Like, how did it feel? What were you thinking of when they announced you as a new champion?
Um, I mean, I felt like it was an earned championship. One of the things I can say about it is I feel like there's going to be one of those fights where everybody looks back on and be like, "Wow, that was," not just everybody, but just me looking back on it. I feel like it's going to be one of those memorable fights where I'm going to look at it and be like, "Man, this was a throwback championship for sure."
Yeah, let's get into that, man. Hell of a fight. This was
Yeah.
a super entertaining fight. I don't think a lot of people expected like that spirited of an effort from Sam Noakes. Were you expecting that from him?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody asked me about Sam Noakes, but I feel like the impressive thing about him was he was everything that my father said that he was gonna be, and my father told me as well, along with all his instructions that you might have to hurt him, and I did hurt him a few times in that fight, so I feel like it was a great fight, and that's what made it a great fight was his resilience in that.
Yeah, he made you earn it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you look at the fight, I don't know, when a fight finishes, do you look at it right away, or do you not like to look at your fights? Like, how's kind of like that digestion process for you?
No, no, I don't look at it right away. I look at it when I get home. Of course, I see the little clips and all that, but I look at it. I sit down and watch the whole fight through. When I get home.
Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't done that yet.
No? Okay,
No, I
okay.
haven't done this yet.
So based on what you remember, were you happy, or were there some things that you were like, I need to tighten this up, I need to tighten that up?
I feel like this was one of those fights where, like, of course, there was moments I could have made it look better. I mean, could have made it look prettier. There's times I was in the ring, like, man, why I'm getting hit with this stupid stuff, whatever the case may be. But overall, I feel like it was a fight that kind of it had to go that way. He was coming the way he did. He wasn't gonna stop. Like my father said, he was like a game dog, and I had to hurt him. So I was definitely satisfied. Game dog or game dog. What was y'all say? What you say? That game dog, yeah. And I feel like I definitely had to hurt him, and he wasn't gonna stop. Even with me hurting him, he didn't stop. So I was definitely, I would say I'm satisfied in the way it went down because I got the job done. I came out a the world champion.
Was there anything like at any point in the fight where you're like, damn, like this guy won't go down, like I'm hitting him with everything, like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, every time I would say every time I hurt him, I've heard him a few times. When I touch him to the body, and he'll do a little grunt, and I jump on him a little bit. But I'm like, man, okay, he stood through that one. Okay, let me wait till I hit him with the next one, and then so on. I heard him a few times in this fight, and I was a little surprised, but like I said, I was prepared for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like the ninth round or the 10th round, and it was like the last minute of that round. You did touch him to the body, and I was thinking like, dude, Sam needs a hold, or Abdullah's gonna put him out, and he didn't hold, and he survived the round. And I was just like, oh my god, like how is this guy making it through this fight?
Yeah, I would say Samuel is he's probably one of the sturdiest guys right in the lightweight division. Just based off that fight and based off the previous watching him and the way he would get other fighters out of there and how sturdy he is when he does get hit, I would say he's probably, one of the sturdy guys.
Yeah, no, he got a lot of credit, I would say, from fight fans that weren't too familiar with him, especially American fans that were very familiar with you, but not really familiar with him. I think like the impression was like, you were just going to blow through him, even though you had a dominant performance. But yeah, he was he's very game in there against you.
Yeah, for sure. For
You know,
sure.
when you look at the future, man, what are you thinking here, man? What do you want to do?
Yeah, being a world champion now is definitely a door opener to whatever route. And right now, we just definitely still got to talk about it with the team, top rank. My head coach, my managers, but I feel like whatever it comes next is definitely gonna be improvement, and I'll be pleased with it, just as all my fans will be.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna ask one last thing on the fight. Actually, it just popped in my mind. The scorecards.
Yeah.
One of the scorecards I thought was like a little too close compared to like what I was seeing in there. Like, did you feel the same way?
I felt like they were kind of close. I definitely felt like I had that fight on top, and I felt like I was beating him at his own game, and they were kind of close. But when they were mentioning the scorecards, I didn't really have any, like I didn't have any doubt in my mind.
Okay, yeah, like you weren't getting a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
nervous, like, oh
yeah. I
man,
wouldn't
like
get,
what?
yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't get nervous.
Yeah, because sometimes that
Yeah,
happens, man. Obviously, they always say with boxing, like you never know, like with these judges, right?
yeah, no, for sure. You definitely got to be on top all the way around, for sure.
So yeah, you were saying like with the future, you want to go ahead and talk with Top Rank, talk with the team, but yeah, you're a champ at 135 pounds now.
Yeah,
I would imagine if you're not ready for it, be prepared for people to come out of the woodwork, just start calling you out, start trash talking
yeah.
in interviews and all that.
Yeah, I mean that's what comes with the sport. So being a world champion, you got to look down too now. So it's not just looking at the same level as the other champions. You still gotta now you got to look at the guys coming up, and it's gonna for sure gonna be people calling you out and all that. But it's boxing, so you can't be a fighter, especially a fighter at this level, and not be prepared for all that.
Yeah, no, for sure. It comes with the territory, and with that territory, I think there's expectations now. Fans have of any champion to go ahead and fight the other champions, or at least fight the top in the division. To you, Abdullah, what's I don't know, what's your like mindset? Is it more like legacy, challenging yourself, or do you like the fact like, hey, I'm champ now, I can kind of call my shots and be smart about the next fights that I take?
Yeah. I mean, of course you want to be smart. You want to always be smart about whatever you fights you take, and boxing is a sport. You gotta be looking at it every way. You know, and to the question you asked, uh, I will say I just want to be the best at what I'm doing. Right now, I'm in the lightweight division, and, and I've been taking steps forward with every fight. I've been improving with every fight. So, whatever route it is, whatever me and the team decide on, then I feel like, I'll be satisfied as long as I'm still improving, I'm still getting better. Even in my prime, I'm gonna want to be improving and getting better. So, I feel like for me, I just want to make sure I'm staying the best at whatever I'm doing in the sport.
I don't even think you're at your prime yet. Do you think you're at your prime?
Oh no, not at all. No, I don't think this is my prime at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, I think as just like a person, as an athlete, you don't hit your prime till like your mid 20s, I think. And what you're what 20, 21 right now?
I'm 21, yeah, and not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that,
yeah.
this is my first time even getting past 6 rounds. That's crazy.
How was that? It didn't
Yeah, it
seem
was
like, you know.
yeah, no, it didn't seem like it was anything I wasn't prepared for, but I feel like it's a crazy fact that stands. I haven't went past 6 rounds, and then for this fight to be the type of fight that it was at 12 rounds, it was something that you could see that I'm prepared for it, and whatever other type of fight that it would be, I feel like I'd definitely be prepared for those as well.
Yeah, I would be thinking like, damn, like I went from 6 rounds to 12 rounds and I won a
Yeah,
title.
yeah, yeah.
The other lightweight champions in your division, you got a good amount of them there. I think, Raymond Murataya, it's yourself, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta, but we don't know what's going on with Gervonta at this point. To you, what's the biggest challenge you feel, or what's like your dream scenario at lightweight?
I feel like they're all big challenges. Like a known saying in boxing is the styles make fights. So whatever it is, I feel like everyone will pose a similar challenge. Maybe different style, but everything is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, Murtaya has this fight with Andy Cruz. We think like Shakur has this fight with Teofimo. We're not sure if they're going to go ahead and announce it. Gervonta has some problems outside of the ring, so we don't know there. But in the foreseeable future, like, do you feel when the smoke settles, like it's you against someone, a certain someone? Do you see yourself you against, Shakur, you against the winner of like Murataya and Andy Cruz? Like, who do you feel is like the other lightweight that skill wise is like comparable to you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I would say all the fighters, but with me being a world champion, I got to be prepared for whatever boxing throws at me. So, whatever, boxing determines, I feel like I'd definitely be prepared for it. I'd be ready to face it. But, a world champion is a world champion, and you got four of them right now in the lightweight division. So, I got to be ready to face any of the other three.
Man, I can't wait though. Like you against
Yeah.
Shakur, you against the winner of, especially just because I like styles. Like you and Andy Cruz is a crazy fight. I think stylistically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as I say as far as my career goes, I feel like it'd be like that with anybody any name you throw out, it'd kind of be like, man, that'd be a crazy fight there, or this would be a crazy fight, or that'd be a crazy fight. So, my main thing, on my side is just to stay focused and stay improving. This was a lot of experience gained for me to go 12 rounds. And on our side of things, it's just, just stay improving, just the team, me, everybody on board.
I would imagine because you're young, it's pretty easy to make lightweight at this point, right?
Yeah, it's everything is about focus. Everything is about focus. So you focus on something, you could get it done. The more focused you are at it, and the better environment you have around you, the easier you can get that done. So it does the same thing with making weight just as it is with everything else. The more focused you are, the better doing whatever better you dieting, the more miles you running or whatever, then the easier it's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've had these discussions, but I'm just curious. Like where do you see yourself ending up in terms of weight? Because you are growing, you are going to grow, you are going to put on more muscle as you grow. It's natural.
Yeah, it's big possibilities, but even since I turned pro, they've been saying I got a structure that I could go from here to wherever it may be. They be saying crazy ways like
Heavyweight.
yeah, not heavyweight, but I mean you see what Crawford just did. He went to 68, and
Yeah.
me and him have a similar structure. So I never see myself going at 68, but you never know. It's boxing, and I feel like he probably didn't see himself going at 68 some years ago either. But it's boxing, and boxing will determine that.
It'd be pretty cool. Like 10 years from now, like I bring this up, like, hey, Abdullah, remember when you're like, oh, it'd be crazy if I end up at super middleweight, and like here you are, you're at super middleweight now.
Nah, that would be crazy, but I'd say we just gotta all follow the journey and see how it unfolds.
Very, very sure. But I would imagine, your goal is multiple weight classes, multiple titles, right?
I mean, it's definitely I feel like something that it could be accomplishable, and with me whenever I'm creeping up on that, then if that's something I decide to do, I feel like I'll be able to accomplish that for sure. But right now it's the lightweight division. I just became world champion, so we looking forward to whatever door this opens up in this division.
Yeah, that's one of the dreams that you accomplished in terms of boxing, or maybe in life. I know maybe this was also like a life dream of yours as well. Like, what other dreams are left to accomplish? Like, what other goals do you have?
Um, Man, just keep improving, man. Just keep improving. With my family by my side. I feel like whatever we all decide. A lot of our decisions. We bounce off each other. Like, should we do this? Should we do that? And I'm just grateful to have them beside me while I'm doing it. So, you know, that's one of my life goals is to keep getting better with them around me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have
Yeah,
your family surrounded in this environment with you. I would imagine it's a tremendous like support system for you, as well as like they're able to like push you as compared to like maybe other people that just go into it by themselves and they have to lean on their trainer, which is a tremendous support. But like, you have your brothers and your dad and everyone in there with you.
yeah, yeah. We I feel like we all kind of feel the same way. We all grateful for each other, and we all growing. We all growing. Learning each other along the way too. So, it's been great.
Yeah, let me ask you about the rest of the night. Did you get a chance to see like the other fights on the card?
I seen glimpses, but I ain't locked in on nothing else for real. I'm nobody else really.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the,
not
the
really.
crazy the crazy thing was the Haney fight. Him almost putting
Yeah,
out
I seen them.
Brian
Yeah, I
Norman.
seen
That
that.
was
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, yeah. I feel like everything kind of went mostly the way that it was kind of anticipated from the fight fans and from the public, but everybody got their job done. I feel like for me, everybody is my family and myself. So everybody did get the job done.
Were you expecting like a Haney to beat Norman like that?
I gotta rewatch the whole fight. I didn't really lock in on nothing else, so
Yeah.
I didn't see none of the fights from that card besides mine.
Ah man, you
I
missed
got
a good one in Haney then. Like Haney
yeah,
put on a
yeah,
performance.
yeah. I know. I gotta rewatch everything. I probably, you know, yeah, I gotta rewatch it.
It was a great night of fights. Benavides with the stoppage that he got over Yard, and then I think before your fight, Bam Rodriguez. No, it was right after your fight. Bam Rodriguez knocking out Puma Martinez. It was a solid card, but obviously, like yeah, what Devin did to Brian Norman, I don't think anybody was expecting that type of dominant performance from him. Everyone thought it was
Yeah,
going to be like competitive, or maybe like Devin would be
yeah,
in danger a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it shows. It also shows you the focus on his part. You can say that. You know, um, the more, I mean, he got his job done. So I'm happy for him, and just anybody else that's doing their thing. Just keep doing your thing.
Do you see this as a super fight for yourself, or is it just not even there yet? I've seen, I believe, Emiliano Vargas post a little bit about you and him potentially in the future. Like, do you eye that as like a potential super fight down the road?
Yeah, I feel like anybody who's going to be still winning and doing their thing by the time the next 3, 4, or 5 years come, I feel like anybody would be a super fight. So if it's him, I feel like that'd be a huge super fight. But first things first is to make sure you still winning. Like right now, I'm a world champion at lightweight. So is he? I don't even think he's at lightweight. But
Not yet,
I
not
feel like
yet.
anybody who's winning, boxing was going to determine who these big super fights are. There's a lot of times I feel like where people may think it's a super fight and it ends up not being a super fight or it might be a super fight. But right now, the only thing we could do is just keep doing what we're doing and boxing will determine that and time will also determine that.
You're still out there in Saudi Arabia. You stayed there, I believe, to go to Mecca, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in Mecca right now.
Obviously,
Me and fam.
your faith is very important to you. Why did you decide to do this at this point, right after?
I mean, why not? We in Mecca. I mean, we was in Saudi Arabia already. I feel like it was something that it kind of went hand in hand at the time. So why not? Do both.
That's great, man. That's great. I know that's a big part of you as well. It grounds you and it guides you in life. So big
Yeah,
ups to
for
you
sure.
on that as well.
Thank
Wrapping
you.
this up, Abdullah. The next 12 months, man. How do you sort of see him playing out? What do you want to do?
Man, I don't know. This the World Championship. This the door opener. So, I gotta. I'm not even home yet. So we definitely gotta sit down and talk about it with the team. And whatever we all choose, I feel like y'all gonna be pleased with it. Just like I will be pleased with it. And whatever it is, inshallah improvement. inshallah, improvement in it. And man, that's a lot to anticipate.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Great fight, great performance that you put on against Sam Noakes. Congratulations again, boxing's youngest world champion right here, Abdullah Mason. Abdullah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.